What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little disjointed math-wise this week. I understand earlier this week we took some notes on long division and we did the divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, right? And I mentioned that most of long division is just knowing what to do next and where to put stuff. So to that end, we're going to do a little bit more today. I'm going to walk through two of them real slow, and I'll give you one to try on your own. Again, this is like day 2 of long division, so don't get too frustrated if you can't quite get it. Give it a shot, take a picture of that last one, and we'll take a look at it. But realize we're going to be working on this for a bit now. So let's start. Okay, I've got my whiteboard turned long-wise here because it's long division. The space we're going to need is going to go down the paper a bit, so I want to make sure we have plenty of room for that. Before I start, and I want you to do the same thing, we're going to do this for a bit here, I want to put a D, M, S, B. D, M, S, B on the top of your whiteboard or top of your paper, whatever you're using right now. I do want you to follow along with what I'm doing. I don't want you just to watch me do it. You need to be practicing this part with us. So the first one is divide, multiply, subtract, and then finally bring down. DMSB, divide, multiply, subtract, and then bring down. Okay, once we have that down on there, let's get a problem to work on. So I'm going to build my little house first. There he is. And on the inside, I'm going to put, let's say, 640. Let's just do 64. Let's try 64 to start with. I'll clean up this edge here. And then out here, I'm going to put a 5. And I'm going to start using, for the first couple days, I'm going to use some numbers out here that are easy to work with, 5s and 2s and 3s, because while it is totally okay and very much fine with me if you start looking back in here for your facts, everything goes way quicker if you actually have those facts in your head. Like I said way early on, your math life gets way easier the day you finally memorize all those math facts. Okay, so the first question, D, divide. I asked myself, how many 5s can go into a 6 without going over? How many 5s can fit into a 6? Well, 5, 10, well, that's way too much. So 1. So I put a 1 right up on top. My dividing part's done for now. Move on to the next one. Multiply. Remember, sometimes I put a little tiny X there to remind myself. So multiply, the number I just put here, times this guy. 1 times 5 equals 5. And I put it right underneath there. Multiplying's done. Now, subtract. I'm going to subtract 5 from the 6. 6, take away 5, gets me 1. After subtracting, I bring down. So I go to the next number over. Here's a 4. He's waiting to come on into the game. Here he is. 14. So now this is where the action's at now, down here. All right, now I'm going to scoot just a little bit. I finished bringing down, and now there's nothing else to do but go back to the start. So now I start with divide again. This time I ask myself, how many 5s can fit into, not a 4, but fit into 14? Remember, this is where the action is. How many 5s into 14 without going over? Well, 5, 10, 15. Oh, 15 is close. 5, 10, so 2 without going over. So right above that 4, I put a 2. Done with my dividing, on to multiplying. This 2, not the 12, but the 2, 2 times 5 equals 10. Put that underneath the 14. Finish multiplying, off to subtraction. Right underneath there, and subtract 14 from 10. 4 take away 0, 4. 1 take away 1, nothing. Oops, you can't see that. Now you can. 4 take away 0, 4. After I'm done with subtraction, I go to B, bring down. So I look up here, and there's nothing right there. That is how you know you are done. There's nothing there, you're done. So if I'm all done here, and there's a number hanging out down there, then he comes back up. He is the R4. So the answer for this, the quotient for this, is 12 R4. 12, remainder 4. I'm going to pause, not pause for a second, but I'm just going to tap my fingers to get the rest of that written out. 5 went into 6 one time. 1 times 5 was 5. Then I subtracted. 6 take away 5 is 1. After subtracting, I bring down. 4 came down, I had 14. Then I start right from the top again. Divide. How many 5s go into 14 without going over? And that was 2. So I put a 2 up top. Then 2 times 5 made 10. 14 take away 10 is 4. That's my subtract. Then it's time to bring down. Nothing else to bring down. Then you know you're done for the day. 12, remainder 4. All right, if you're working whiteboard, you can erase. If you're working paper, don't worry about erasing, just get a new spot. I'll walk you through one more, and then I'll give you one to play around with. All right, I'm leaving my DMSB up there, and you need to as well. Here's the new one we're going to work on. I'll build my house. And then inside the house, I'm going to put 134. 134, big one. And then I'm going to put on the outside a 2. Like I said, I'm going to use good numbers out here so that it's easier for us to grab those facts. All right. So this is going to remind you of what we did last week. My first question for divide. How many 2's can go into a 1 without going over? Well, if this number is bigger than this one, then the answer is going to be 0. All right? So now, just to make sure I'm doing continuity-wise, now it's time to multiply. I'll put a little multiply. 0 times 2 is 0. Subtract 1. After subtracting is bringing down. Here it comes, little arrow. 13. And this is where the action is now. All right, back to the start. Divide again. How many 2's will go into 13 without going over? Well, let's find out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Oh, that's too much. 7's too much. So 6 is about as close as I'm going to get. So I put a 6 up here. And now it's time to multiply. 6 times 2 gets me 12. Now it's time to subtract. 13 take away 12 is, that'll be 1, right? 3 take away 2 is 1. 1 take away 1, 0. I'm scooting up a little bit here. After subtracting is bringing down. Here comes that 4. So now, here's where the action is. I'm going to go up just a little bit further. The letters will disappear, but you'll still have the symbols. All right, back to the start, dividing. 2, how many 2's will fit into 14 without going over? Well, we just got close last time, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 8, 14. That's 7. So 7 goes up here, right above that 4. Now I need to multiply 7, the one I just put up, times 2. Gets me, exactly 14. That's going to be nice for us. And then I subtract after that. 14, take away 14. No real thinking there, right? 0. After that, it's time for bring down, but there's nothing up here. I'm all done. So this is the remainder, which is nothing. I do not have to put R0. You don't have to do that. If there's no remainder, there's just no remainder. You just leave it be. So the answer for this one, the quotient, 67. You could say 0.67, but no need to. So the answer is 67. And you want to see this? This is a cool trick. Remember I told you division and multiplying are opposites of each other? To check an answer doing this, watch what happens. I'll take 67 and I'll multiply it by 2. And if the answer is 134, then I know I'm right. So let's find out. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So there it is, right? That's how I know for sure that I got it right. You multiply your answer times the one on the outside, and if it comes out to be this, you're good to go. All right, so now you've seen 2 of them. I'm leaving this sit for a second, and I'm going to give you 1 of them to work on your own, and it'll be our first glimpse. Mr. Jones and I will get our first ever glimpse of you trying to do a long division problem. So I'm excited. Get it as close as you can. Here it is. Make it I'm going to send you 2 on the inside. And so I'm going to draw the house. And when you take a picture, when you're all done, I need to see this on the top. I need to see D, M, S, B, whether it's on a piece of paper or on the board. I have to see it. All right? So on the inside of this, I'm going to put down 93. And on the outside of this, our buddy, the 2. 93 divided by 2. All right? And do me a favor, the most important part that Mr. Jones and I are going to be looking for is this process, right? So don't just say, I got the answer and the answer is whatever. I need to see this. I need to see all this big mess you're about to make because I need to know that you know what to do next and where to put stuff. Because again, that's all long division is. All right, so work on that one. Give it your best shot, okay? Divide, subtract, multiply, bring down, where to put stuff and what to do next. Take a good picture of it, send it on in, and it'll be our first glance at how you guys are doing on long division. After that, have a fantastic weekend.